And here we go.
And what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this special little video that I'll be doing from now on. This is a little test run to see how it performs and how it works. But yeah, so this is pretty much a video that I'll be doing, like I said, every week towards the end of the week. This is called, for the time being, weekly roundups, and it's where I round up like any news, TV, anime, movies that came out during the week only, and I'll spotlight it and talk about it, give my opinions and stuff like that. And also I'll do little reviews as well, like for TV shows that I missed, or videos or films or animes that I didn't give a dedicated video to. I'll be doing here as well. So yeah, hopefully this works out. This is the plan. Like towards the end of the week, I'll gather it all up and I'll make a nice little show on it. And with that being said, let's get started with the very first topic. And this one is the Batman. It comes out in a little over a month, like a month in a couple weeks, and it's finally been confirmed and reported that the runtime is out. The runtime of the Batman will be 2 hours and 55 minutes, which makes it the third longest comic book movie film to date, and the second longest theatrically released, only behind, I believe, Endgames, which is only 5 minutes longer at 3 minutes. That's surprising. That is surprising for a solo superhero film. That's unheard of. Usually these type of films have this sweet spot of either 2 hours and 15 minutes, never pushing the 3 hour barrier. And it really means that Matt Reeves, in my opinion, he's going for something big. Obviously, the scope of this film is not what we saw, and the trailers have been deceiving. There's so much I feel this film is going to be extremely layered, and a lot of world building in this. And for example, I believe this film is going to lead to the Gotham PD show that's coming out. Catwoman is supposed to get a show as well, and Penguin is supposed to get a show. I believe all of this is going to leave breadcrumbs for these individual products to finally see the day of light. And I'm excited. I'm excited because watching these trailers, I'm like, he's really being deceiving and how he's displaying the images that we're seeing. For example, Riddler, we've barely seen Riddler, and I felt like if he's your main protagonist, at 3 trailers in, you would be seeing a lot more of him. That's usually the way of Hollywood. That's how they typically do it. And yeah, I'm ecstatic. And just last week, this was reported to be PG-13, which I found a little odd that people were at arms about it because they expected it to be rated R, which is odd to me. It's this weird infatuation that people have that I guess rated R automatically means it's a good film, which is the furthest thing from the truth, in my opinion. We've had a lot of rated R material that's quite frankly not that good, in my opinion. But yeah, and all the previous Batman films have been PG-13, and 95% of comic book films are PG-13 today. So why would you expect any different? But as far as the runtime, yeah, I like it. I really, really like it. I'm ecstatic, but I am scared because at 2 hours and 55 minutes, it's the pacing, man. You got to get the pacing right. There's only so much you could do until it feels like it's dragging at a point, and I hope it never gets to that point. And yeah, fingers crossed. Matt Reeves' films are not typically extremely long, like touching 3 hour barriers, but the Planet of the Apes films are pretty hefty, and they're rich with story. So I expect nothing but the same with that being said. So yeah, man, I'm excited, and can't wait to see what Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves got in store as Batman. As you can see, like he surprised me. He's fitting the mold pretty nicely as our Cape Crusader. And the next topic is keeping in line with Robert Pattinson. Bong Joon-Ho has selected him to star in his newest film, or his latest film coming out, called Mickey 7. And this is fantastic news, ladies and gentlemen. I am ecstatic about this. Bong Joon-ho is one of the best working directors that not too many people have heard about because he's a foreign Korean filmmaker. But his latest film that he did, Parasite, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Well deserved, by the way, because that film was fantastic. But having him work with somebody like Robert Pattinson is ridiculously exciting. And it pretty much follows, let me see if I can get the synopsis for you. And the synopsis reads, the story follows a disposable employee sent on a suicidal mission to colonize the ice world. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of its memories intact. But there's a twist to this one. Supposedly, they thought, one died and a new one comes back, a new body, which would be Mickey 8 at this point. But come to find out, Mickey 7 did not die. And then so everybody's wondering who is Mickey 8 if Mickey 7 is still alive, because once you die, your past life, your memories are all implanted into Mickey 8. But if you're still alive, then who is this, version of Mickey? And this sounds fantastic, absolutely fantastic. This is right up Robert Pattinson's wheelhouse. Him and his roles, he dedicates 100% at every role I've seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad role, including Twilight. I understand you want to make fun of him for being a Twilight actor or whatever, but that's ridiculous in my opinion. But I'm excited. Like I said, Bong Joon-ho, he's a great actor. He's a great director, and he's made, what I like about him, he dances in different genres. Parasite is one type of film, and then he has, I believe, Memories of, I forgot the name. It's a film about a serial killer, and he's very well adept with making different type of films, and I'm ecstatic, man. I'm extremely ecstatic. Honestly, I can't wait to see this film, to see what they have in store for us, because these two together is, man. I'm glad to see Robert Pattinson's star is just skyrocketing. You work with Christopher Nolan, Matt Reeves, and now Bong Joon-ho, like, wow. And to think, because I believe he said he wanted to stay away from these bigger franchises after Twilight, and he also was in one film of the Harry Potter film, so he was doing a lot of indie films. But now, like I said, his star is bright, and he's taking full advantage of it, and I love it. I love to see it. You love to see it. And the next topic is a little bit of a switch, because it's about a movie, but not about a movie at the same time, and you're going to see what I mean. One of my favorite films of all time is Heat, and it's getting a novel sequel. I don't know how to feel about this, because I thought with Heat, when it originally came out, we got a definite ending to everything. I didn't think it warranted a sequel or anything of the sorts. A lot of these characters got their definite ends, and we got answers, we got questions answered and stuff like that. So to see that a novel is coming out, it can be a little bit head scratching, but I am intrigued, especially because Michael Mann is working on it, even though of late his films have been a little weak, to say the least. But Heat is celebrated everywhere, in my opinion. I think it's one of the greatest films I've ever seen, period. And it has garnered a lot of inspirations, especially with the latest film, a couple years ago, Den of Thieves came out with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and Gerard Butler, O'Shea Jackson Jr. And this film was, it was pretty, it was good. It was just didn't meet whatever they were trying to meet in comparison to Heat. But as far as Heat goes, it has one of the best shootouts I have ever seen in any film. Complex characters. I was completely glued, and I'm curious to see where this novel is going. There's not much details, and I'm trying to be vague. I know it's an old movie, but how it ends, I would like somebody to fully experience that, and instead of getting spoiled here, because there's a lot of older movies that I have not seen. So if I could save somebody from being spoiled, I'll be as vague as possible. But I'm intrigued, but I'm a little confused why a novel is coming out, but it is what it is. And next up is a topic about one of my favorite working directors and favorite working actors getting together for a project, and that is Guy Ritchie and Jake Gyllenhaal, ladies and gentlemen, are about to work together. And their film is also acquired by Amazon and MGM, which I guess okay, whatever. So I believe it's definitely, well, Amazon they do put their films out in theater first, but it's definitely gonna have a second life on the streaming platform, which doesn't do it much harm nowadays. And the synopsis reads: a local Afghan interpreter who risks his life to carry a U.S. sergeant to safety. The sergeant then decides to return to the war zone to retrieve Ahmad and his family. Okay, it doesn't sound like anything I haven't heard recently. It's very, yeah, we've seen a bunch of movies with this type of premise and stuff like that. But what excites me is your lead actor and Jake Gyllenhaal and Guy Ritchie, who has a particular style when he does his films. He doesn't follow your typical way of directing, so that intrigues me. But it's surprising because his last few films, Wrath of Man, Gentleman, and etc., have been a certain niche type film, and this is a little far left. But yeah, with that being said, Guy Ritchie, like I said, he's one of my favorite directors that I don't necessarily talk a lot about. I thoroughly enjoyed The Gentleman. I had a blast with Wrath of Man. Snatch is one of the OGs. And then you have Jake Gyllenhaal, who, in my opinion, is one of the best working actors. He's a chameleon, man. He could transform into any role you need this guy to be. You need him to be a sadistic killer, he will be that. You need him to be a grounded, tough investigator, he'll be that. Like, yeah, this guy could honestly do it all. And he's even gonna be in a Michael Bay film, which I necessarily don't want to watch, but I only watch because of him. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, one of the greats in my opinion. And yeah, I'm intrigued. So yeah, sign me up for this, and yeah, I'll watch it definitely day one for sure. And next up, I have some a little sad news and frustrating news at the same time, confusing news as well. But Mission Impossible 7 and 8 have both been delayed. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm a little bit confused because initially this film was supposed to come out in 2020. And well, Mission Impossible 7 2020, and it's now coming out July 14th 2023, a whole 3 years from its initial year that it was supposed to come out with. And they're saying it's due to what's going on in society with the variant and stuff like that. I don't get it. You have the Batman that's coming out in March, and it's sticking to its guns. You just had No Way Home that's well over $1 billion right now, about to be 1.7 billion. This franchise will flourish in no matter what climate you put it in. It's not one of these smaller franchises. James Bond just made over 700 million in November, so I don't understand why you don't think Mission Impossible would do good. It's weird. And also, Mission Impossible 8 has also been moved back to June 28th, 2024. So I highly doubt that we're going to see these films anytime soon. And I'm a big fighter for, theatrical releases and stuff like that. But at this point, just throw it up on streaming. My hype. Who would have ever thought one of my favorite films is Fallout, which I love. I absolutely love Fallout. But my excitement for 7 and 8 have dwindled so much. it's pretty sad, honestly, because yeah, it was once again in my anticipated list for like the last 2 years, and we'll see next year if it makes it, because I'm really disappointed. But yeah, it is what it is. They feel that, I guess, they're not gonna make as much as possible, because Mission Impossible is a weird franchise. 6 films in and it's only getting better, in my opinion. The last 3 films have been amazing. Some of the best, if not the best films in the franchise to date, and you don't typically see that. So I guess they want to maximize it to their fullest. Like, my thing is, what makes you think 2023 is going to be better, any better than 2022? Because you obviously thought last year that this year was going to be better, but you can't keep pushing it back. It's just whatever, man. Just throw that bad boy on TNT and yeah, and make it do what it do, man. But next up, I have a interesting topic news that came out, and I'm here for it. Willem Dafoe wants to play an imposter Joker opposite of Joaquin Phoenix. Originally, I thought Joker should have been a one and done. You had no business making a second one. But if this is the storyline that they're considering they want to play with, okay, I'm intrigued. Willem Dafoe has been one of the people for the past, 10, 15 years that's been fan cast as a Joker. He just has that face to me that screams out Joker. And primarily the Arkham game Jokers, he has, from the hair to the face, no disrespect to the wrinkles and stuff like that, he looks like Joker. That Joker in particular to me. And I like how they played with the Joker film, that any person could have been Joker. Like, who's to say that Joaquin is the Joker that we knew? There's nothing really, specifying that's the Batman's Joker. Minus, his interaction with Batman or your younger Bruce Wayne at that point. But at his age, and when Batman gets, when Bruce Wayne gets into Batman age, he could, yeah, I'll leave that at that. But I'd be interested to see that. I'll definitely be interested to see that. And that's the story they want to go with for Joker 2, if they are doing a Joker 2. I'm intrigued, and I'm not necessarily disappointed, and I'll be fine with that. I'll definitely be fine with that. All right, so next up is I want to do something different. I want to combine this video with an initial video that was supposed to come out a little while ago, but I recently seen Scream, and yeah, so I want to rank them. And today I'll be ranking all 5 of the Scream films. Prepare to be triggered. And let's get started. At number 5, I have Scream 3, which it's a bad film. It does so much wrong. The main thing to me is it stops being a horror film completely. There's pretty much no horror elements to it, and just becomes a straight up parody comedy. I don't like that aspect at all. Not in my Scream films to be just one tone. And that's the biggest, L that it takes, in my opinion. And also, I did not like the mother aspect that honestly felt it came out of nowhere. They decided after 3 films to make Sydney's mom a big aspect of this film, and did not work for me at all whatsoever. Ghostface, he was the goofiest and most ridiculous version of himself that I've seen to date, and not a fan of it at all, not even remotely. And the cast, the fact how they had, they were shooting a film, and then you had your counterparts, the film versions of them interacting with their real versions, and yeah, it just really felt like this outer body parody, and I was not a fan of it. I liked what they did with Sydney, with her being sheltered and not being a victim, and brought the fight to Ghostface. that aspect was pretty good, but that twist, the half brother, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. It didn't work with me for no. So that's why I have Scream 5 as, no, I'm sorry, not Scream 5, Scream 3 at the number 5 spot. And at number 4, I have Scream 2. Scream 2. Before you get your pitchforks and attack me, let me explain. And to me, Scream 1 is amazing. It's pretty good. It does a good, wonderful job of blending two different tones into one. And Scream 2 just felt so jarring when it came out because it was more comedic and more fun and less serious in my opinion. And I was not expecting that from my Scream movie. It had a pretty good opening with Jada Pinkett Smith and Omar Epps, so it got that going from it. But even the opening as well, I felt was so on the nose at times, and how Ghostface ended up doing his killing in there. I don't know. It didn't sit 100% well with me. I do like the opening, but it's not my favorite. I know some people consider it their favorite, but a lot of it to me, man, it really did not. It didn't work. And I also didn't like how they really made Cotton a main character who was used perfectly in the first film as the guy you see on the side that's accused of the murder, and now he's like front and stage. It's I don't know, man. And Ghostface in here, some of his attempted kills, the fells, running into coffee tables, running into walls, getting knocked down by doors, trying to make a killing. It really lessened his scariness, the threat of Ghostface himself. Yeah. And also, these films to me, they do so much of the who is it, the trying to guess who the killer is at the end. And I feel if you don't execute it, your film is definitely gonna lack. And the twist of Billy's mom, really, Billy's mom. You could have went a different route with it. And the other killer, the student, whatever, I forgot his name. That was predictable. Obviously knew it was him. The Scream franchise, it is what it is. And Scream 2, after the hype of Scream 1, it took a huge dip in quality, in my opinion. And that's my number 4. And at number 3, I have Scream 4. And I come to find out recently that a lot of people dislike this film. And I've seen some reviews and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't understand why. Because to me, in my opinion, Scream 4 is the precursor to the newest film that we have. It's in tone. It fights to be a lot more serious than all the other Scream films have been. And I loved when it's being taken serious. That's the type of Scream film I like. But it still had that goofiness that the originals had as well. It was mixed in pretty nicely. So to me, Scream 4 was great. Yeah, it was meta, a heavy spoon of meta. Yep, it shoved it down your throat. I'm not denying that. And the twist of the whodunit, predictable at times, and a little bit head scratching as well. The motive it didn't work for me, so that's where this film lost me towards the end, is the whodunit. Like I said, these films, they live on who's the killer type stuff. But as far as Scream himself, I'm sorry, Scream, Ghostface himself, he was great. And that kill that he killed the neighbor, Sydney's cousin's friend, when he was in the closet. That kill was brutal, man. Holy crap. And seeing it from the perspective that you've seen it from across the room, it was great. And I felt the tension in here was done as good as any Scream film prior to the newer Scream has done, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it, and that's why I have Scream 4 at my number 3 spot. All right, now this is where it gets good. My number 2 film, surprise, surprise, to nobody's surprise, because you could only have only one number 1 when it comes to the Scream franchises. Psych. Scream number 1 is my number 2 film. And I want to say, I am not trolling you. You heard right. You heard correct. I have it as my number 2 film. And why is that, you think? It's not that I dislike this film. I don't at all. I just feel like Scream 2022 got the cheat code from Scream, and they had the blueprint and they excelled on everything that was laid in front of them from the previous film. So that's what bumps them ahead for me. But Scream, the first Scream was great. Honestly, the best opening. Ghostface was through the phone. He was frightening. That kill of Drew Barrymore really set the tone for what kind of film that you were going for. And like I said earlier, they really did the perfect balance of a legit horror slasher and a fun parody at the same time. The perfect balance. And I really love, you could tell this film was made from somebody that appreciates horror in all its elements, because it was done greatly. It was done greatly. Seeing Sydney for the first time and getting introduced to her character, and she was probably the most complex that she's been out of the whole series, man. And also easily the best twist at the end of like who did it. They left you guessing, because I had one or the other. I did not think there was 2 Ghostface, and I think it's only the best because it was the first. It's hard to top that. Once you laid the groundwork of what the Scream franchise is, it's really hard to top that at this point. And I love the Scream film. It doesn't do anything bad per se, but it's just my number 1, Scream 22, just did everything better pretty much. It had the absolute perfect tone, in my opinion, of course, for a Scream film. Absolute perfection. And finally took Ghostface serious as well. Like, usually when you see Ghostface, like I said, he's a funny character. He, to the point that you see him in the scary movies with the "what's up." Like, what other horror icon do you really see being depicted as a joke on scary movie? Like, there's a reason why they thought, all right, this character is going to be a character that we could do that with. It fits the mold. And with this version, you can't do that. This version is brutal. It's lean. It's mean. It followed what the OG did, the OG cast. Man, I loved it. And it followed it and it did it to perfection. It has the benefits of being updated. It has the benefits of having directors that work on Ready or Not, which is one of my favorite new age horror films. So it has a lot of benefits. But yeah, this is my number 1 film, and I'm not trolling. I really mean it. It just hit me perfectly in all the right notes, man. This cast was phenomenal. Almost every single member of this cast did a great job, or even a good job, if not great, in my opinion. The twist at the end, I had it half solved. I had questions with the second half as well. So it's really hard to nail the perfect ending, because like I said, the first film did that perfectly, but it's also the second best. And second best to that, and everything else is the best. The score was phenomenal. I really think Wes Craven would have been proud of this film, man. You could really tell those people that honored this film and love this franchise and love horror period that made it. And that's why Scream 2022 is my number 1 film in this franchise. And I want to say, like, I don't hold the Scream franchise as a big regard to a lot. I know a lot of people love it and stuff like that. I just think it's good. And before this film, I thought it had only one real legit great film, and the other ones were what they were. But I feel like this one just yeah, I have my eyes open. I can't wait, and I hope they do some more. I don't know what you can do now without it getting tiring, but yeah, that's my ranking. And next up, I have a movie review, a latest movie I went to the theaters for this week to check out. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this are not gonna care about this, but it fits my mode, the type of stuff that I watch, and it's an anime, and it's called Belle. And yeah, this film, my lord, if you wanna be in your feels, cry like not curse, like a bia, this film will, it's for you, man. And if you hear Belle and you think of Beauty and the Beast, you're not far off. And that's because this has little inspirations, well, not little, pretty heavy inspirations from the Beauty and the Beast, but this is so much more. And that's why I love anime so much, because they're able to, in a format that's necessarily known for kids and stuff like that, not nowadays. It's so grown up. Like, this film tackles so much heavy stuff, loneliness, your what you mean in this world, friendship, abuse. Like, it really, really, really tackles a lot, man. It'll have you in the feels. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. The animation was okay. It was okay, but I didn't come for the animation. And I love the main character's growth from when you first introduced her. She's she had a tragedy in her family, and it completely wrecked her, and she questioned why it happened. And throughout the film, smartly, not even realizing, it answers you why this tragedy happened and why it could honestly happen to anybody with a big heart. She was alone, she was isolated in this world where she thought, I forgot to explain that, I guess the main premise of Belle, it's this world where you can immerse yourself into it, and you could be avatar, your own character and stuff like that. And this girl who's been isolated from reality is, introduced to this, and she's this character that's beyond popular in the game, and it's complete opposite of her real life, and her real life and the game start fusing with one another, and the story from there, it takes off, man. Like, she meets somebody in the game who in the real world is just as troubled, if not more troubled, and needs her help. And yeah, man, I don't want to say too much, because this film is so layered and complex. I really enjoyed it. I loved the themes that it had. I also love how it tackles dealing with grief, because it's like what people say, everybody deals with grief differently, and it affects everybody different. And this film had a story, man. It's so loving at times and so gut-wrenching, man. This one will, yeah, man. Belle is a definite watch. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, that was my quick little review for Belle. All right, so those were all my movie topics. So now I'm gonna tackle some TV related news and reviews. So, and the first topic for the TV realm is Godzilla's getting a TV series in Apple Plus. And this film follows 2014 Godzilla film, which to me is the weakest Godzilla film to date, and it's primarily because there wasn't enough or much Godzilla, the title character, in it. But as far as the other aspects, it wasn't half bad. Bryan Cranston, Heisenberg. Enough said. But synopsis, it pretty much reads, following the events of 2014 Godzilla film, the series explores one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets, a legacy leaking them to the secrets of the organization known as Monarch. More human-related stuff in a series called Godzilla. Yeah, this is probably a no-go for me. I'm gonna watch it, but my excitement for it is non-existent. my favorite aspects of Godzilla is Godzilla. So to tell me you're making a series that's following a family, and from my least favorite Godzilla film, my interest is not high. I don't know how other people feel about it. It's the truth. It's a little depressing. I feel like they don't understand what Godzilla is and why majority of people like Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Kong did a better job of that in my opinion. That's why I like it, Godzilla vs. Kong, a little more than majority of people do. But I don't know how it's weird, and I'm surprised they're making this a TV series with the success of Godzilla vs. Kong. It made a pretty penny in a terrible year to say the least. But yeah, this series does not interest me. Not at the slightest. Like, who cares about Monarch? Who cares? Like, this kind of reminds me of the Russian family that was in the theatrical release of Justice League. Nobody cared about that, and that's how I feel about them. So yeah, it is what it is. I'll check it out, but if I do come to find out that they're gonna actually show more Godzilla and it's not like 1 minute of Godzilla and 40 minutes of this family, which I feel like it's only gonna be Godzilla in name, then I just hope they do it right. But my interest is so to say the least. And into other news, the second topic, Squid Game 2 and Squid Game universe has been confirmed. I don't know how I feel about the Squid Game universe part, but Squid Game 2, duh. The success that first season have is through the roof. It's a no-brainer that a second season is coming out, and it's kind of a no-brainer that they're doing a universe. I just don't like the idea because they're pretty much, in my opinion, gonna run it to the ground. Because I feel like with this type of series, there's only so much that they could do until it becomes repetitive. And all right, we've seen this already. All right. But as far as the second season, I think it'll definitely still interest me. Squid Game, it was very fresh. If I haven't seen a series like that or a movie in a while, and what I really loved about Squid Game, not just these interested ways of torturing and killing human beings, but just it had heart, man. It had a lot of heart. Once you start understanding why these characters are in the predicament that they're in, you're like, okay, there's more to them, and then you see certain hardened criminals or characters really start embracing their more human side of things. I really enjoyed that aspect, man. This was an amazing series. I expect more of the same in the second season, hopefully, fingers crossed. And yeah, I'm all for it. But the universe aspect really does scare me. So I don't know what they mean by that. Does that also mean they're doing spin-off series? Are they doing films? So we'll see. Netflix, I'm not surprised that they're doing this. It's like I said, it's a no-brainer. And love the concept and sign me up for a second season. And yeah, so that was my take on that. And I wonder if they're gonna stick with the same main character that they did with the first one, because I enjoyed him. I understand some people didn't like because his morale as a human being, and it was weak at times, but I felt like he had an amazing character arc. A lot of these characters had a lot of amazing character arcs, and it felt a lot of the way they told the story felt a lot of like anime at times, and it's a Korean story, so not surprising, even though anime is based off of Japan and stuff like that. But yeah, sign me up for season 2 at least. I'm game for this. And next up we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead has been cast in the Ahsoka series. Okay. You have my interest. Ahsoka was first introduced live action. That is live. I know she's in the. But in live action, she was in The Mandalorian season 2, played by Rosario Dawson, was absolute epicness. And yeah, my interest for this series has gone up because we know Darth Vader's playing a critical role in it. Hayden Christensen is coming back to play Darth Vader, and now you have a talented actress as Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I be excited? I think this is a amazing casting, even though we don't know what role that she's being casted for, because they say it's a secret role. So I assume it's a huge one. You don't bring in somebody like her to do, a small role. But yeah, she's had a fantastic career that I don't think people really realize. She's been in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She's in a Cloverfield movie. She's Birds of Prey. She has a very interesting career, to say the least. And yeah, this is I'm excited, but it's also highlights that a power couple is now in Star Wars. Her and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, power couple. I said it. So yeah, this is cool news. I like it. I can't wait to see who she ends up playing. That's what I'm most interested about, to be honest. But Ahsoka is shaping up to be pretty good. Hopefully it's just a lot better than Boba Fett, because, oh my God, we were lied to. How do you let The Mandalorian, which is inspired by Boba Fett, be 20 times better than the Boba Fett show? This is not a Boba Fett rant, so I'll let it be. But yeah, I like the casting, and I'm all here for it. So yeah, sign me up, and I can't wait to see it. And next up, I'm gonna do 3 reviews for 3 different shows that I've been watching that haven't really got the time to speak about. And I'm gonna start off with my least favorite of them all, and I still don't know how I feel about it after watching 2 episodes, and that is Naomi, episode 1 and 2. I'm gonna give you my quick and slight review for it. This show is about a character I've never, ever heard of, never even knew existed in the world of DC. But what interested me about this show, and why I'm even watching this show to begin with, is who they have involved with it. Ava DuVernay, and yeah, she's one of the rising talents, or you could say she's already there. She's done Selma. She did When They See Us, that Netflix show. Check that out when you have a chance. And she was supposed to do New Gods, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I saw her talk about how she's the head runner of this show, and how what it meant to her to have an African American girl represented in this light. And I'm like, okay, she's talking good game. She hooked me as far as that. And also, upon watching it, I realized that this character is inspired, and she says it in the show, by Superman. Heavily, like, Superman is mentioned a lot in this show, and his inspiration is surprising but also cool. I like that. Like in Justice League 2017, not 27, what am I talking about? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Zack Snyder Justice League, when you see Flash and he's, letting you know how much Superman inspires him and stuff like that. I love aspects like that from certain characters, and seeing that here was cool. But as far as the first 2 episodes, I don't know if this show's for me. I really don't know. It's on CW. I forgot I should have led with that. So it has a lot of CW isms. Just when this show is starting to, it gets good. It starts getting serious. The mysteries are starting to be unveiled. It has that teen feel, like you're watching 90210, Riverdale, or something like that, which I've never seen both. But yeah, that's how it feels. It feels very teeny. Like it cuts, like the legs right off the show. And I felt like the tone, which is surprising, having Ava DuVernay working on this, could have been a little more serious. And even with that being said, I'm still willing to give it a chance, because it does just enough to where it piques my interest, because I'm curious to see where this character goes and who this character ends up being. Because the first 2 episodes, you find out that she might be an alien from different planet and she has powers and she's discovering her powers. It's a cool come to age story that I feel would have done better if it was in a HBO Max or something. CW just does not know how to handle these DC characters, man. They put a lot of fluff into it, and I feel like Naomi is suffering from there. But I see potential, and hopefully the latter episodes are more on the good side of things. But with that being said, one show that's, I don't know how this is happening, that the CW is knocking out the park. A show that I've been eating a crow for the longest. Superman and Lois. This is gonna be my quick review for episode 1 and 2. Quickly before I start off, because this is obviously season 2. I saw season 1 and I absolutely loved season 1. The tone of the show is nothing like any other CW show to date. Not even remotely close. Like, it's so serious. There's cheese, obviously, because if you're dealing with the traditional Superman character, he can be very cheesy if you know the character well. And in that aspect, that's fine because they're sticking to the comic book characters. But what I loved about the show and is loving is the family aspect, man. Who would have thought that I would care about Superman's twins or two boys or whatever you wanna like. Lois Lane is honestly one of my favorite characters in DC that, you know, that's meant to be the love interest of your main character. And live action wise, haven't been thrilled with what we got, but in the show, it's fantastic, man. They do an amazing job of dealing with the duality of Superman being a father and also being Superman. And I love this aspect. Like, these first 2 episodes follow along with season 1, man. You don't really even see Superman much, and I know for some people that could be problematic, but it's just a drama evolved around a family just trying to build the pieces together, because eventually, spoiler alert if you're not watching this, you know, everybody finds out in his family that he's Superman and stuff like that, including the sons, and trying to, and like, there are teens, they've been lied to their whole lives and stuff like that. And now one of the sons, Jonathan, gets superpowers, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I really, really love the father aspect of Superman. Like, the first 2 episodes, he hasn't even fought a big bad yet. Of this season, that is. He's been saving people from disasters, saving people in submarines from, you know, perishing and stuff like that. Very traditional Superman stuff, and I love it, man. The writing here is so sharp. I can't believe I'm saying this about a CW show. And I'm loving this show. This is honestly one of my favorite shows on air right now, believe it or not. I'm not willing to give any other CW show a chance. I'm done with Flash. I'm done with, I believe Arrow's been done. Whatever CW has. Naomi's just a test run only because of Ava DuVernay. So, yes, Superman and Lois it's been extremely good, and I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. And I also love, before I get off this, the twist of Superman having a brother. Yeah, you heard me right. Superman has a brother, and polar opposites, and him dealing with that aspect as well, man. They're doing a real great job. Like, my favorite parts about this show is not even Superman, and even when you meet Superman, he's good. Like, I feel like they know what Superman is as far as what makes him Superman as a being, as a character. Eventually, this could only last for so long. I'm gonna need to see him, you know, do some heroic, fight the bad guy, epic stuff, because the fights in here have been, you know, not the best. I don't know if it's because it's on CW or if it's the writing of the fighting. They could work on that. They could definitely work on that. And for the love of God, somebody get this man a new suit. What is this? What are you doing? Oh my God. It feels like he's rocking a onesie with a cape on it. That legit, the symbol is part of the suit. It's not indented and stuff like that. This suit is horrendous. Do better, CW, please. That's where the CW isms come in, because they're not well known for great suits. Mine is a Batwoman suit that looks pretty good, so they get lucky here and there. And my next and last review and last topic for this show, Peacemaker, episode 1 through 4. Where do I begin? Where do I begin with this show? Oh my God. Do I love this show? Peacemaker is fantastic. James Gunn is an absolute madman to get away, to even come up and think of these ideas. It's insane. I did not know how I'd feel about John Cena being a lead of a show, because his career as far as acting he hasn't really done anything to date that's impressed me besides the Suicide Squad and his take as Peacemaker. But I thought that was a lucky one and done. He's not the main. He wasn't the main, draw of the movie, and his character had, not the biggest role in it either. But to give him his own TV show, sheesh, boy was I wrong. This show is amazing, absolute amazing. What really does it for me, and I'm starting to see that a lot more, is Peacemaker as a character is not what you think he is. Surface level, he's rude, he's goofy, obnoxious, all that good stuff. But deep down, man, he's a real character that stands for something, that's been tormented through life, that's trying to deal with it while not dealing with it at the same time. And this show does an amazing job in really tackling those aspects, man. The writing on this show is hilarious. I could understand this show not being for everybody, because certain topics are very out there. It's very out there, but it really works for me, man. This is one of the best things DC has done on the TV side of things, and period, to be honest. And I love this show, even to their fight with this, I don't even know what to call him, this green little henchman. It's hilarious. Every aspect of this show clicks, and the cast, the chemistry is really good. It's really good. Like it feels like a show that I've been watching for like 2-3 seasons. Everybody clicks well together. When the dramatic beats hit, it hits perfectly. And let's talk about Vigilante, whatever you wanna call him. I don't know this character, so I'm hearing a lot of the fan base are upset because he's not true to his comic counterpart. But oh my God, everything I said about Peacemaker applies to this character. Adrian Chase, man, what an amazing character. And what they had him doing in episode 4, when he gets himself arrested to deal with Peacemaker's dad, and he's, oh my God, these characters are extremely layered. And it's not just Peacemaker, like Vigilante, Adrian Chase's character. Once you see him at the end of the episode and he's tearing up because he's trying to help a friend out just so his friend would be happy for once, because he knows what the friend's been through. It's hilarious. And him as a character himself, the dialogue. I could talk about this series all day. And also I love the dynamic between Robert Patrick, who's playing Peacemaker's pops. And just Peacemaker wants that, acknowledgement from a father that any son would want, and how they're starting to peel off layers of that relationship is dynamic, man. Absolute dynamic. This show is so much more than what you thought it would be. I saw these trailers and were extremely underwhelmed. Extremely underwhelmed to say the least. But yeah, there's a lot more to the show, and there's only 4 episodes in. We have 4 more to go. Every week I'm excited to watch this, man. And let's talk about that opening. That absolutely amazing opening. If I could right now, I would reenact it for you, music and all, dance steps and all, but can't really do that right now. That is hilarious. This show, that opening, everything has me in stitches whenever I watch it. I don't skip that opening. And I typically do. Once that little skip button pops up, I click it every single time. Not here. Not here. James Gunn is he's a madman. Absolute madman. And WB actually let him do this. I love when WB lets directors do them and stop interfering. Like, that was their motto a few years back, that WB Studios is for the directors. I felt like, I don't know what happened throughout the years, it's changed some, but James Gunn and Matt Reeves seem to be getting that treatment, and from all the work James Gunn has done in DC to date is shown for it, and the Batman looks amazing. So, and also James Gunn is supposedly working on another DC TV project, and yes, more please. So yeah, man, that's my quick little review of the first 4 episodes of Peacemaker. A fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, there you have it. All the roundups I have for this week. No anime this week because I couldn't do much research to get into it, and this show was pretty long as it is, and I think I'm talking to just a camera at this point because I highly doubt anybody stayed to the end. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully this does some numbers and you guys enjoy this, and I could keep doing this every week, man. Leave in the comments what you thought about this, if you think I should keep doing it, period. Like, if you enjoyed it and stuff like that. And yeah, until next time, man, I'm out. Peace.